Welcome back, everybody. And Ruckus is always on point with the music. Not only does he choose one that is appropriate for the topic, but also one that is a throwback, because it's Throwback Thursday right here on the Now Morning Show. Now, we're going to be speaking about business survival during COVID, and we have an entrepreneur, a mother of three, and just an extraordinary person who's going to give us some tips about how to help your business survive during a pandemic. With me this morning is Giselle Drew, who is an entrepreneur, as I mentioned, and also the founder of Tobago Wick Candles. Good morning, Giselle.
Hi, good morning. How are you? And good morning
I'm
to Trinidad and Tobago.
I'm doing quite well. Thank you for joining us this morning, and let's jump into it. So before we get into the tips and techniques for helping your business to survive during the pandemic, I want to hear a little bit about your story because you actually started your business during a pandemic.
Yes, I did. Actually, during the first lockdown, I think a lot of persons were frantic in terms of, what they would do for employment and what they would do during the downtime. And candles is something that I have always been very obsessed with. I took a few courses in the US as well as here. So I decided during the first lockdown, I said, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to start to make these for retail. But the most important thing for me is that they were synonymous to Tobago.
Right,
So I thought about it, I thought about the name, and I said, well, okay, Tobago Wick. It's very simple, it's straight to the point.
right,
And I began thinking of all the places that, we love as Trinidadians and Tobagonians, the beaches, the historical sites. And I said, you know what? I don't want to name these candles, normal things. I want it to hit home. I want that feeling of nostalgia. So I
right.
started thinking of names, Store Bay Bliss, Buku Reef, Grafton Beach, and I said I am going to try to infuse, what I believe is, the sense and the feeling of when you're at these places in a
Right.
candle. I said I didn't know if it was possible, but I said that's what I want to do, and even though it's not a necessity, I said, I think people may be feeling stressed, they may be feeling overwhelmed, and this is something that could aid in a release, in a,
Right.
being able to feel calm and not as stressed, less anxiety, and so on and so forth.
So it's a bit of aromatherapy as well.
Yes, and self-care, most
Right,
definitely.
right, definitely. So you're addressing an issue. You found a problem and you're addressing it, and that is how you came up with your product, really.
Yes, yes. I
Now,
thought of people and I said, you know what, this is a time, it's an unsure time. So, for those essential workers on the front line, when you do you come off shift, you should be able to come home and relax a little bit and,
right,
kick your foot up, burn a candle, think about the day, think about your next move.
and you were able to choose an idea that you were able to monetize, but what does somebody need to know and somebody need to understand about what is the right idea to capitalize on?
You see, that is the thing. I think in this time it is very difficult, but I think that persons can, make assessments, look around right now, see, what is needed, what people need, what is lacking. There's actually a local guy who does Pampers delivery, and I said to myself, wow, that's a fantastic idea because you always need Pampers,
Right.
I think people just have to think, get on the ground, look around and just see what, people, what they need, what they even want.
So finding a need and then either providing a service or creating a product that addresses that need.
Most definitely. I think that is the most important thing right now because with, uncertainty, persons obviously would be, holding their purse tighter than,
Right.
before. So you have to create a product or you have to have a service that, can convince persons, this is something that I need or I would like to spend money on. It's worth it. And, I get a return on my investment, basically.
Definitely, definitely. All right. So you're not only an entrepreneur, but you're also a mom. And when you trade in the regular work schedule for being an entrepreneur, you give up having one boss and, generally 9 to 5 hours, for the day, to working pretty much all day and having to be on call pretty much at any point in time. How do you find the balance between work and family life?
Oh my gosh. It is a go, 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 go. It's non-stop. I think a lot of times persons think when you're self-employed, and you have your own business, that it's a lot easier. And I actually think it is a lot harder because during the week, I have two 9-year-olds. So, you have to be in Zoom with them until a particular time, and then you have to do homework, you have to produce, assignments. So that's what I do with them during the day. I also have a
Right.
3-year-old, so I have to find time in
Wow.
between to keep him occupied and have him doing something work related for, I
Right.
don't know, all of 20 minutes. But, and honestly, what happens with the business is during the day, a lot of my ideas are born, and during the night is when I do a lot of my work. So I try to utilize the time as best as possible.
Wow. So time management.
Yes.
Time management. That's the big key here, I see. And as you mentioned earlier, people are holding their purse a little tighter, and they may hold back from spending on certain things. What are some of the strategies you would suggest to sustain a home business so that it can turn like sustain the household itself?
Okay, well, one of the things that I have honed in on, it seems, very irrelevant, but my packaging. I am very, very particular about my packaging. When I am finished making a candle and it has cured, or any of my other any of my other products, my packaging is immaculate because I think that, once you've spent your money, I think there needs to be a wow effect. That is the
Right.
time that we're in now. So when you open this up, as small as it is, from the smallest to the largest, you need to feel like, oh my gosh, this is for me, wow, like, feeling like a bite of shilling. So
Right.
very important. I also think communication and comprehension is very important. I talk to all of my clients. They're free to call, they're free to message. If there's any issue with a product, we're not going down the route of, well, I buy shit thing and I think okay and I don't like it.
Yeah.
Tell me
Right.
that. Talk to me. Okay, you bought Bookery. You don't really like that scent. How could we work this out? Would you like to try something else? You want me to doctor the candle that you have? You want to bring it back? Communication is the key so that people don't feel swindled and they don't feel as though, well, I just wasted my money on that and that's the end of that.
How do you build that level of communication with your clients or your customer base?
Honestly, it's very difficult. It is a step-by-step process from beginning to end. From the time people reach out to you,
Right.
I do a lot of communication. So when they say, what do you have, or general question, I don't think that they expect the barrage, that they go to that, because I respond. I'm like, what are you looking for? Are you particular on scents, color? Are you trying to, match something? Do you just need an aromatherapy candle to relax when you arrive home? What do you need? Let me see if I could, plug, that hole, and then we take it from there. So talk, 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 find anything you purchase, and then I follow up. I want to know, were you satisfied? Did you like that scent? Could it have been, a little bit stronger? Tell me how I can make the product better for you and for others. So
And I find that part so important, the follow up, because oftentimes, when there are complaints about certain products or businesses, otherwise, there may be a means by which one can file the complaint, a means by which they can maybe chat with a personnel from the company, but you don't often get that follow up afterwards to ensure that everything is okay with the customer in the end. So I think that part of it is super important as well. And well, you hit the nail on the head right there. When it comes to ideas now to grow your customer base and maintain visibility during the present climate, what tips can you give?
I think, again, staying modern, looking around to see what people need. Recently, I launched some fresh room sprays because I think that all day, some of us may be out, we have on our masks, and you're just smelling what is in your mask all day, or in the different environments, your car, your workplace. So I have a fresh room spray now. So when you get home or when you get to a place where you're resting, you just spray the air and breathe in, and feel something different as opposed to
Right.
what you're feeling all day. So I think innovation is the key, and I think that although a lot of people may be struggling right now, it just keep at it, keep at it. The first idea may not be the idea that sticks, but sometimes the second, the third, the fourth, it's just a matter of trial and error, really and truly.
You actually precede my next question. I was going to ask, that not every business is a success story. Can you give advice to those who are struggling to stay afloat or to even make it through right now?
Well, definitely. I guess here to continue on my
Yeah.
last, you have to keep trying. Sometimes, you may be good at art and you decide, well, you know what, I am going to paint and try to, sell my paintings, but at the time there may not be a market for that. So it doesn't mean that your business was unsuccessful. It just means that, at that point in time, you put your feelers out, and there was poor reception for that idea. So I
Right.
think persons, try it all. There's nothing to lose right now. Try it all. Put your receptors out there, and I think feedback right now is the most important thing. If you're doing anything that you're doing, talk to your relatives, talk to your friends. Hey, I have this idea because I realize, a lot of people are lacking in, so on and so forth. What do you all think? Is this something you would buy? Is this something that you would subscribe to? Get feedback and, keep pushing. Definitely keep pushing.
Keep pushing. And that's a great way to end this one. I want to thank you so much for your time this morning and congratulate you on your work that you've been doing. And, even being a part of the program here this morning, it helps somebody. I'm sure there's somebody out there who's watching that has been helped by this conversation. So I want to thank you so much, Giselle Drew, for joining us this morning, and have a wonderful day and continue to stay safe.
You as well.
All right, we're going to take a short break. We have much more in the program. Stay right where you are. This is In Our Morning Show.